To start with, I worked with my colleague Dmitry Gorchakov, and we both are going to present the results of our latest work. We have created a review of what Rosatom has been doing during the war. It's not the first report we have prepared. 2 years ago, we issued another document about the nuclear industry of Russia before and on the edge of the war. So we have analyzed what Rosatom has been doing before the war has started. And in the current review, we concentrated on the events of 2023 and 2024. So basically, I'm going to speak about what Rosatom looks like at the moment and what Rosatom has been doing during the last 2 years of the ongoing war. I would like to mention several details about Rosatom, and we'll start with the nuclear sector. There are 10 nuclear power plants, which you can see here on this slide, and one nuclear station, floating nuclear station. There are altogether 34 reactor blocks. I'm sorry, I just jumped into the wrong direction. There are 49 reactor blocks on 11 nuclear plants altogether. There are 34 reactor blocks being currently in operation and 2 floating nuclear plant reactors on the floating power plant Lomonosov. I won't go into deeper details and into the types of reactor blocks they are using. I just would like to say that there are 3 reactor blocks being in construction at the moment. 8 reactors are in preparation for decommissioning, and there are 2 reactors being decommissioned. If we try to look at the reactor types used by Rosatom, we can see that these reactors are pretty old, and most of them are already serving longer than they should be, and so their working time has been prolonged. That means that some problems might come up in the nuclear energy sector in Russia, at least according to our opinion. If we look at this slide and graph, we will see that during the last year, the energy power generation goes down, starting from 2021. You can see it here in the right part of this slide. The reasons for that, according to our opinion, is that the reactors are getting older. The reactor blocks must be stopped, and they cannot generate as much energy as before, as they were newer than today. During the 3 years of the ongoing war, the electricity generation sank by almost 4%. It's a lot. And the share of Rosatom in the nuclear energy generation is around 18% at the moment. Rosatom always tried to increase this energy share, and we can also see it in the ongoing policy. Rosatom states they would like to increase this share up to 25%, but it's complicated to tell when that's going to happen. Nonetheless, Russia has presented its plans. The initial plan before the war was that Russia builds 12 new energy blocks for the nuclear power plants by 2035, and there are also a lot of smaller power plants which already have been started. At least the construction work has been started. But with the beginning of the war, with the outbreak of the war, these plans have been corrected. So now the date is not 2035 anymore, but 2045. There are only 10 years left till 2035, and 10 years are not enough to build 12 blocks. Till 2045, they do have enough time, but it's still not clear whether they'll be able to fulfill the plans. There are several nuclear power plants we are monitoring closely during the last years. First of all, we speak about the Rostov and Kursk nuclear power plants, because these two power plants are very close to the front line, and there are constantly attacks in the region by accident or not, we don't know. But anyhow, there is a direct nuclear radioactive danger in this region. We have also monitored what was happening on the Zaporizhia power plant. The Zaporizhia nuclear power plant has been occupied, and that's for the first time in the history that a nuclear power plant is occupied by a different state by using weapons. We monitor the situation there in details on weekly basis, and in our report you really can step by step see what has been happening there. But I do not want to go into deeper details of the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant. One of the colleagues is going to present this situation during today's event. Maybe we will hear more information on that in this presentation. I will just put the Bellona opinion in a nutshell. The Zaporizhia nuclear power plant must be returned to the Ukraine. But at the same time, we see four possible scenarios of what can happen to this nuclear power plant. Yesterday, there were some recent news. The head of Rosatom proclaimed that they would be ready to unload the American nuclear fuel from the reactor and give it to the American side. That's the newest information we received. But four scenarios which I have mentioned. Russia might try to restart several blocks. And the information we received 2 days ago shows that Russia rather wants to keep the nuclear power plant in Zaporizhia and restart it. The second scenario we have analyzed was the following. In the foreseeable future, this nuclear power plant might not be used as it is, but that's an open question. If the war goes on, it's very hard to use the power plant on the front line, because there are always dangers there. The third scenario, which still is possible, that the power plant might be returned to the Ukraine, but it's a political decision. Mr. Likhachev stated yesterday that everything depends on political decisions. And scenario number 4 would be that this nuclear power plant will be used together by Russia, Ukraine, and the USA. But we can hardly imagine how that might work out because management of a nuclear power plant is a very complicated issue. Now a couple of words about the uranium mining by this state corporation, Rosatom. There are 2 companies dealing with uranium mining belonging to Rosatom. It's Rosatom Nedry, the company which has mined 2,710 tons of uranium in 2023, and the company Uranium One, which partly belongs to Rosatom. Uranium One has mined 4,830 tons in 2023. So these are the 2 main actors in this field, 2 main companies mining uranium. Here you can see that 2023 we see a slight increase in uranium mining. What I want to tell on this topic and to add to it, mostly the companies use the uranium which can be mined in Kazakhstan. Russia uses 6 or 7 mines situated in Kazakhstan. By the end of 2024, we have received information that Russia has sold 3 mines to a Chinese company. But the experts tell us that these mines are not highly productive. So the mines are not that important for Russia to keep. The reason for selling these mines has not been disclosed. We don't know why that has been done. The company, which is called Rosatom Nedry, before it was called differently. It has been recently renamed. This company mines not only uranium, this company also mines gold, silver, scandium, lithium, titanium. This company now deals with a lot of different business. So basically, they deal with a rare earth industry at the moment. They also offer the conversion services. The company Dwell is the main company dealing with that. 2023, 2024, this company has delivered around 24.35% of the conversion services. Okay, I see that I have to accelerate because the time is ticking. So there was a decrease of the contracts by 25% in 2023 by this company Dwell, but still this company operates in Europe. It still is present on the Asian market and also in the southern countries. This slide shows the topic which concerns Bellona most before we have left Russia. That's Russia's nuclear legacy. As we had to leave Russia 3 years ago, we had this information on the Russia nuclear legacy: around 19,000 tons of spent nuclear fuel, around 774,000 square meters of radioactive waste and around 2,000 nuclear and radiation hazardous facilities. These are our favorite objects, you might put it that way, and we still monitor the situation on these objects. I would like to tell you that in 2024, Rosatom has presented a report. In other way, the report has been presented recently in 2025, but they monitored the situation with the nuclear legacy in 2024. Unfortunately, I couldn't put this information on a slide. I don't know why. Yeah, that's different information. I have read the report by Rosatom, and I would like to tell you that Rosatom is currently not dealing with the Arctic nuclear legacy at the moment. There are no data whatsoever what has been done on the facilities and objects in Grimicha, in Saida. Grimicha they plan just to close Grimicha as an object. Of course, they also are not dealing with the nuclear submarines lying on the in the sea. In 2024, Rosatom also operated actively in the field of wind energy. Here you can see the numbers which represent the situation at the moment. It's also very important to know that almost the whole Arctic region is currently operated by Rosatom. Rosatom is basically operating the Arctic Northern Sea route on its own, and the whole shoreline is also basically belonging to Rosatom. Everything which is in the Arctic field. That's the new business field of Rosatom, and this business field is highly important for Rosatom because there is a political task behind that, and Rosatom does its best to succeed in it. Finally, a couple of words about the position of Rosatom in the CIS countries. In Belarus, the situation is clear. The situation with Kazakhstan is interesting for us because the uranium mining activities are mostly taking place in Kazakhstan, and currently Rosatom does its best to construct and build a new NPP. The question with Armenia is currently open because Armenia decided to make a step from Russia towards the European Union. Basically, they have one reactor which can be operated till 2026 with possible prolongation time till 2036. In Uzbekistan, Rosatom is currently building 6 new smaller reactors, Ritem 200, and in other CIS countries like in Kyrgyzstan and Turkmenistan, there are mostly activities in the scientific field and field of education. And I wanted to show you one slide representing the uranium mines in Kazakhstan. Here you see the 4 green objects still belonging to Rosatom and 3 red circles. These are 3 objects which has been sold by Rosatom to a Chinese company, which I have mentioned. That's all I wanted to tell you. My time is out. So thank you very much. And I will pass the mic to my colleague My colleague will tell you about Rosatom international projects and the impact of sanctions. Thank you so much.